Welcome to Flavor Street. Join us as we explore unique flavors and street food recipes from around the world. Subscribe and enjoy the journey. Kibbeling, battered and fried chunks of fresh North Sea fish, served with garlic or herb sauce. Kibbeling is a popular Dutch snack made of battered and deep-fried pieces of white fish, often served with a creamy garlic or herb sauce. Here's a simple recipe to prepare it at home. Ingredients for kibbeling. For the fish: 500 g, 1 pound, white fish fillets, cod, haddock, or pollock, cut into bite-sized chunks. 150 g, 1 cup, all-purpose flour. 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon salt. Half a teaspoon black pepper. 1 teaspoon paprika, optional, for extra flavor. 200 milliliters, 3/4 cup, cold beer or sparkling water, for a light batter. 1 egg, optional, for a richer batter. Oil for deep frying, vegetable or sunflower oil. For the sauce, kibbeling sauce. 250 milliliters, 1 cup mayonnaise. 1 to 2 cloves garlic, minced, or half a teaspoon garlic powder. 1 tablespoon fresh lemon juice. 1 tablespoon chopped fresh dill or parsley, optional. Salt and pepper to taste. Instructions. Prepare the batter. In a bowl, mix the flour, baking powder, salt, pepper, and paprika. Gradually whisk in the cold beer, or sparkling water, until smooth. If using an egg, beat it lightly and mix it into the batter. Heat the oil. Fill a deep pan or fryer with oil, about 5 centimeters deep, and heat to 180 degrees Celsius 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Coat and fry the fish. Pat the fish pieces dry with paper towels. Dip each piece into the batter, letting excess drip off. Carefully place them in the hot oil, don't overcrowd. Fry for 3 to 4 minutes until golden and crispy. Remove with a slotted spoon and drain on paper towels. Make the sauce. Mix mayonnaise, garlic, lemon juice, herbs, salt, and pepper in a small bowl. Serve. Serve the hot kibbeling with the sauce and lemon wedges. Hollandse Nieuwe Haring, Dutch raw herring, served with onions and pickles, best in late spring, summer. Hollandse Nieuwe Haring, Dutch new herring, is a traditional Dutch delicacy made from young, raw herring that has been lightly salted and sometimes fermented. Here are the key ingredients and steps to prepare it. Ingredients: fresh herring, specifically matjesherring, young herring caught between May and July, with a fat content of at least 16%. Coarse salt, for curing the herring. Optional, mild vinegar or brine. Some recipes use a light vinegar solution for extra preservation. Traditional preparation method. Gutting and cleaning. The herring is gutted, but the pancreas is often left in place as it contains enzymes that help in the fermentation process. Salting. The herring is heavily salted, about 20% salt by weight, and left to cure for a few days. Maturing. The fish is then stored in wooden barrels or refrigerated for a few days to develop its signature mild, slightly sweet flavor. Freezing. Modern requirement. By law, herring must be frozen to -45 degrees Celsius -49 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 24 hours to kill parasites before being sold raw. How to serve Hollandse Nieuwe Haring. Traditionally eaten raw, held by the tail and dipped in finely chopped onions. Served on a soft white bun, brood herring, with onions and pickles. Sometimes accompanied by pickles or gherkins. Texelse Mussels, Texel Mussels, fresh mussels steamed with herbs, often at seafood stalls. Texelse Mussels, Texel Mussels, are a delicious Dutch dish featuring mussels from the Texel region, often cooked with simple, flavorful ingredients. Here's a traditional recipe. Ingredients for Texelse Mussels, serves 2 to 4. 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, fresh mussels, preferably from Texel, cleaned and deburred. 250 milliliters, 1 cup dry white wine, or beer for a Dutch twist. 1 onion, finely chopped. 2 celery stalks, finely chopped. 1 leek, sliced, white part only. 2 bay leaves. A few sprigs of fresh thyme, or half a teaspoon dried thyme. 1 tablespoon butter, or olive oil. Fresh parsley, chopped, for garnish. Salt and pepper, to taste. Optional, a splash of cream or a pinch of mustard for extra richness. Preparation. Clean the mussels, rinse under cold water, scrub shells, and remove beards. Discard any open or cracked mussels. Sauté veggies. In a large pot, melt butter, then sauté onion, celery, and leek until soft, 3 to 5 minutes. Add liquids and herbs, pour in wine/beer, add bay leaves, thyme, and bring to a simmer. Steam mussels. Add mussels, cover, and cook on high heat for 5 to 7 minutes until shells open. Discard any unopened mussels. Season and serve, sprinkle with parsley, pepper, and a little salt. Mussels are naturally salty. Serving suggestion. Serve with fries, patted, crusty bread, or Dutch sourdough, rog brood. Pair with the same wine/beer used in cooking. Frikandel, a classic Dutch mincemeat sausage, often eaten with curry ketchup and mayo. Frikandel is a popular Dutch snack, a type of minced meat sausage. Here's a basic recipe for making homemade frikandel. Ingredients. 500 g ground meat, a mix of pork and beef, typically 50-50. 1 small onion, finely chopped or grated. 1 egg, for binding. 3 to 4 tablespoons breadcrumbs, or flour, for texture. 2 to 3 tablespoons milk, to soften the mixture. 1 teaspoon salt, adjust to taste. Half a teaspoon black pepper. Half a teaspoon nutmeg, optional, for flavor. Half a teaspoon coriander powder, optional. Half a teaspoon mace, optional, traditional spice. Oil, for deep frying. Instructions. Mix ingredients. In a large bowl, combine the ground meat, onion, egg, breadcrumbs, milk, and spices. Mix well until it forms a smooth, sticky paste. Shape the frikandellen. Take a handful of the mixture and shape it into a long, thick sausage, about 15 to 20 centimeters long. Traditionally, frikandellen have a slightly uneven, hand-formed look. Fry or deep fry. Heat oil to 170 to 180 degrees Celsius, 340 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, in a deep fryer or pan. Carefully lower the frikandellen into the hot oil and fry for 5 to 7 minutes until golden brown and cooked through. Drain on paper towels. Serve. Frikandel is typically served hot with ketchup, mayonnaise, curry ketchup, or special, a mix of mayo, ketchup, and onions. In the Netherlands, it's often eaten as a snack or in a bun, brood frikandel. Texels lamsate, skewers of grilled Texel lamb, a local specialty. Texel is a Dutch island known for its lamb, and lamsate, lamb sauté, is a delicious dish combining Dutch and Indonesian influences. Here's a flavorful recipe for Texels lamsate. Ingredients for Texel lamb sauté, for servings. For the marinade. 500 g, 1.1 pounds, Texel lamb, leg or shoulder, cut into bite-sized cubes. 3 tablespoons ketchup mayonnaise, sweet soy sauce. 2 tablespoons olive oil. 2 cloves garlic, minced. 1 tablespoon fresh ginger, grated. 1 teaspoon ground cumin. 1 teaspoon ground coriander. 1 teaspoon turmeric. 1 tablespoon brown sugar. 1 tablespoon lime juice. 1 teaspoon sambal olek or chili paste, adjust to taste. Salt and pepper to taste. For serving. Wooden or metal skewers, soak wooden ones in water for 30 minutes. Lime wedges. Fresh cilantro or parsley, chopped. Sauté sauce, optional, see below. Optional sauté sauce, peanut sauce. 4 tablespoons peanut butter, smooth or crunchy. 3 tablespoons ketchup mayonnaise. 1 clove garlic, minced. 1 teaspoon sambal olek. 1 tablespoon lime juice. 1 teaspoon brown sugar. 50 milliliters coconut milk or water to thin. Instructions. Marinate the lamb, mix all marinade ingredients in a bowl, add lamb cubes, and coat well. Cover and refrigerate for at least 2 hours, overnight for best flavor. Skewer the lamb, thread the marinated lamb onto skewers. Grill or pan fry. Grill, cook on a hot barbecue for 3 to 4 minutes per side until slightly charred but still juicy. Pan fry, heat oil in a pan and cook skewers for 4 to 5 minutes per side on medium-high heat. Make the sauté sauce, optional. Whisk all sauce ingredients in a small pan over low heat until smooth. Adjust thickness with water or coconut milk. Serve, garnish with lime wedges and fresh herbs. Serve with peanut sauce, fries, or a fresh salad. Oliebollen, Dutch donuts, especially popular in winter. Texelse Honingwafel, Texel Honingwafel, ingredients. These delicious Dutch honey waffles from the island of Texel are known for their rich, spiced flavor and chewy texture. Here's what you'll need to make them. Dough ingredients. 250 g all-purpose flour. 100 g brown sugar. 100 g honey, preferably Dutch or a strong flavored variety. 100 g unsalted butter, softened. 1 egg. 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon. Half a teaspoon ground ginger. Half a teaspoon ground cloves. Half a teaspoon ground nutmeg. A pinch of salt. Optional, 1 tablespoon milk, if the dough is too stiff. For brushing, optional. Extra melted butter or honey for a glossy finish. Instructions, brief overview. Mix dry ingredients, combine flour, baking powder, spices, and salt. Cream butter and sugar, beat softened butter with brown sugar until light. Add honey and egg, mix in honey and egg until smooth. Combine, gradually fold in dry ingredients to form a firm dough. Rest dough, chill for 30 minutes for easier handling. Shape and bake, roll into small balls, flatten slightly, and bake at 180 degrees Celsius 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes until golden. Drop, Dutch licorice, salty or sweet, a must-try Dutch candy. Texelse Honingwafel, Texel Honingwafel, ingredients. These delicious Dutch honey waffles from the island of Texel are known for their rich, spiced flavor and chewy texture. Here's what you'll need to make them. Dough ingredients. 250 g all-purpose flour. 100 g brown sugar. 100 g honey, preferably Dutch or a strong flavored variety. 100 g unsalted butter, softened. 1 egg. 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon. Half a teaspoon ground ginger. Half a teaspoon ground cloves. Half a teaspoon ground nutmeg. A pinch of salt. Optional, 1 tablespoon milk, if the dough is too stiff. For brushing, optional. Extra melted butter or honey for a glossy finish. Instructions, brief overview. Mix dry ingredients, combine flour, baking powder, spices, and salt. Cream butter and sugar, beat softened butter with brown sugar until light. Add honey and egg, mix in honey and egg until smooth. Combine, gradually fold in dry ingredients to form a firm dough. Rest dough, chill for 30 minutes for easier handling. Shape and bake, roll into small balls, flatten slightly, and bake at 180 degrees Celsius 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes until golden.